Barry Gibbs' name is recognized around the world. But behind the fame and fortune lies a story that's both inspiring and heartbreaking. Known for his golden voice and songwriting brilliance, Barry helped define an era with his brothers as part of the legendary Bee Gees. Yet, while the world danced to their hits, few knew the depth of pain he endured. His life has been marked not only by enormous success but also unimaginable loss, a journey of resilience, love, and survival that ultimately leaves Barry as the last living Bee Gee. Born on the Isle of Man in 1946, Barry was the eldest of the Gibbs siblings. His early life was shaped by music, a passion encouraged by his father, Hugh, a bandleader who recognized his son's talent early on. Along with his younger brothers, twins Morris and Robin, Barry formed a close musical bond that began in childhood and grew into something extraordinary. The boys started performing together in Manchester before emigrating with their family to Australia in the late 1950s. It was there that the Bee Gees began to find their footing. Performing on television and releasing local hits, Barry emerged as the primary songwriter and creative leader, a role he would hold for decades to come. By the time they returned to England in the mid-1960s, the Bee Gees had matured into a polished act. Their harmonies were tight, their songs emotionally rich. It wasn't long before they achieved international stardom with hits like Massachusetts, Words, and To Love Somebody. Barry's songwriting, deeply personal and evocative, stood out, while his falsetto would later become a signature sound of the disco era. But fame wasn't always easy on the brothers. Creative differences, particularly between Barry and Robin, led to tensions, even temporary splits. Yet despite disagreements, their bond remained unbreakable, especially when they came together for their defining moment, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. With the release of that 1977 album, the Bee Gees didn't just achieve stardom, they dominated it. Songs like Stayin' Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love didn't just top charts, they helped define an entire cultural movement. Disco was in full swing, and the Bee Gees were at its center. Barry's falsetto, once a novelty, became iconic. The soundtrack sold over 40 million copies worldwide, and Barry, often writing hits in a single sitting, became one of the most successful songwriters in history. But as quickly as the world embraced disco, it turned on it. By the early 1980s, the Bee Gees became the scapegoats for disco's decline. Radio stations blacklisted their music, and critics dismissed them as relics. Barry, ever the survivor, pivoted. He began writing and producing for other artists, penning major hits for Dionne Warwick, Kenny Rogers, and most notably, Barbra Streisand. Though out of the spotlight, Barry's influence remained strong. Amid the professional highs and lows, Barry's personal life brought deeper, more painful struggles. His younger brother Andy, who had found solo success in the late 1970s, struggled with addiction. Despite Barry's efforts to help him recover, Andy's health declined. In 1988, Andy died suddenly at just 30 years old. Barry was heartbroken. He had always felt a deep responsibility for Andy, almost like a father figure, and losing him was a blow he never fully recovered from. Tragedy struck again in 2003 when Morris died unexpectedly from complications during surgery. The loss of his twin brother left Robin shattered and Barry deeply wounded. Morris had been the mediator, the peacemaker, the one who kept the group grounded. Without him, the Bee Gees as a trio could no longer continue. Robin and Barry attempted to carry on in his honor, but the magic was never quite the same. Then, in 2012, Barry faced the ultimate heartbreak. Robin, his last surviving musical brother, died after a long battle with cancer. Barry was now alone. The harmonies that once defined their lives were now just echoes. In public appearances, Barry was often emotional, vulnerable. He spoke openly about the guilt he felt, survivor's guilt. Why him? Why had he been the one left behind? Despite the pain, Barry never stopped creating. In 2016, he released In the Now, a solo album filled with reflections on his life, his brothers, and his own mortality. In 2021, he collaborated with country music stars on Greenfields, reimagining Bee Gees classics as duets. The album was both a tribute and a reinvention, a way for Barry to honor his legacy while still moving forward. His contributions didn't go unnoticed. In 2018, he was knighted by the Queen, officially becoming Sir Barry Gibb, but even that honor felt bittersweet. In interviews, he admitted he would trade every accolade, every award, just to have his brothers back. The music, the fame, none of it ever filled the void left by their absence. Today, Barry lives quietly with his wife Linda, his partner since 1970, and their 5 children. While he no longer tours as frequently, he continues to write and occasionally perform. His legacy is secure. With more than 1,000 songs to his name and over 220 million records sold, Barry Gibb is not just a pop icon, he is a symbol of endurance. He has faced the kind of heartbreak that would bring most people to their knees. Yet, through every loss, Barry has kept singing. His music has never been about just rhythm or melody. It has always carried the weight of love, family, and loss. And now, as the last BG, he carries more than a name. He carries a legacy.